Orbiting 250 miles above, the space station provides us with the ultimate view of planet Earth. From this perspective, we ask our guests to engage with 6 questions that orbit around wonder and stories of hopefulness. For the next few minutes, this is our Wonderspace.
Welcome to the 97th episode of the Wonderspace podcast, which is a creative expression of a family trust called Panapa. My name is Steve Cole, and since September 2020, I have asked the same 6 questions to over 90 people from around the world. People like Marlon Parker from R Labs in Cape Town, who in episode 2 talked about their organisational innovations that have impacted over 15 million people by creating environments of hope. For our 3rd year, we are thrilled once again to be working with Ask Nature, who are a project of the Biomimicry Institute. Their work looks to nature for inspiration to solve design problems in a regenerative way. Here is another moment to help us re-wonder.
Whether wolves in the wild or dogs in a park, canines have a remarkable ability to detect and follow smells. So what makes their sense of sense so much more powerful than ours? When they sniff, a bit of the air dogs take in enters a maze-like structure in their heads called the olfactory recess. Thanks to the extensive surface area this structure offers, dogs have more than 500 million cells available to detect scent, some 15 times what humans have. The part of the nervous system these cells send signals to, called the olfactory bulb, is 3 times the size of that in humans. Another of their secrets is the sideways fold of the nostrils. So when a canine exhales, the air jets out to the side, drawing molecules from a wide area closer to its nose for its next scent sampling sniff. Humans have already adapted this technique to improve the effectiveness of odor detection machines. What other innovations might be in the air?
This week on Wonderspace, we orbit with Prospect from South London. He is a self-appointed ambassador for the youth of the United Kingdom, with a vision of bringing about a fairer and more progressive future for up-and-coming generations of young people. He is the CEO of Prospect Training and Prospect Living, who target financially excluded young people and provide them with employability skills and opportunities. Prospect also works alongside the Mayor's City Hall and the Greater London Authority as a youth consultant as part of their crime reduction unit. With this expansive overview of Earth, I start by asking Prospect, if we could do a fly past on any part of the world that is significant to you, which place, city or country would it be and why?
We are going straight to the island of Barbados today. Having been to the country myself, the energy, the vibe, the frequency of the country and of the people that are living there, I could actually sense a place of harmony for once while I was there. And I'm not sure whether that was just the holiday phase, like when you're in a honeymoon phase, if you're just on holiday enjoying yourself. But genuinely, all of the people that I engaged with and interacted with were happy, empowered and eager to share with me their culture and teach me about themselves, which sometimes isn't always the case here in London. So I think in terms of Barbados, it's set a precedence for me to actually understand for myself that there is actually potential for there to be harmony on land where people are actually all happy, all thriving and can all coexist together. But as well as that, for such a small island, Barbados is actually making very big shots and moves when it comes to regaining our independency and departing from British monarchy. So for such a independent and small country, just like myself, we are holding people to account and through reprisal and demand and actually getting justice for some of the reparations that we deserve. So just like how I in my field of work try to hold powers accountable to what they're supposed to be doing, I guess it stems from an empowerment in my home country of where that comes from. So yeah, I say Barbados is my place, man.
Prospect, give us a glimpse into your life story so far, with an emphasis on what you're doing currently.
So, my life so far, I described myself as a financially excluded young black man from South Norwood. Financially excluded meaning I was excluded from opportunity or intelligence, information for how to educate myself financially. I had to be quite independent in that sense. So I refer to my demographic as financially excluded, who I was trying to find a career relevant to my passion. I unveiled that there was something called discriminative hope, which is also hope in the form of opportunities that only actually makes its way back to certain people of certain demographics or certain colours or certain criterias. And this hope, this discriminative hope that was in South Norwood, excluded me and my friendship groups from like the phrases, there's more to life, that people quite lightly say to me, as quite frankly, like myself and my friends had been excluded from the more to life because we had no direction. We wasn't shown anything. We didn't know the more to life to actually strive for. And because of that, we got distracted, and some of my friends I could see were falling into like condoning antisocial behavior, going to jail, people die, and trauma starts. And that for me wasn't really healthy. And I could kind of see, because I kind of uncovered and unveiled the discriminative hope aspect, I kind of understood that it was only because the right opportunities weren't being marketed towards my friends and my friendship groups that the next steps and the consequences were happening as a result of this. So self-appointedly, when I understood this, I started representing young men and women of London on a self-appointed position by governing authority and championing youth organisations on how to properly divert and like rehabilitate young people, but whilst also preparing the young men and women that I work with and my friendship groups for the real world, like through my own empowerment and employability course. So I made a course myself called Prospect Training, which is a short empowerment and employability course for young people, which focuses on goal setting and positive thinking. So I kind of just eradicate a lot of the negative mindsets that a lot of young people have in terms of the barriers to the success that they actually want. They feel like there's so many things holding them from getting there, whether it be their age, where they're from, how they talk, how they look. I kind of just try and get rid of that and show through my story that you can be from this demographic and still be a success as long as you just have a plan and you focus and you execute it. And young people, youth, mentoring youth is something that we've found to be very, very engaging and effective. So especially through my position I'm a youth consultant for the Mayor of London currently, working with the Violence Reduction Unit, and they focus on early engagement and early intervention programs. So this program is more early engagement, early intervention, as if a young man knows that he wants to be a construction worker or an entrepreneur, if we help him develop the right steps and uncover the right courses he may need to take, or the right information he can actually gather for himself, he won't find himself distracted or in front of a chicken shop or anywhere where he doesn't actually need to be because he knows that's not part of his plan. And I feel like that is more effective engagement and diversion rather than just like arresting young people who have been condoning criminal activity, not necessarily because they're criminals, but because they've not had anything better to do, which is a lot of the time the case. So that's my stance right now. And where I'm hoping to go with it is to grow my audience, grow my influence in terms of the young people that know me and my work, and then grow my infrastructure in terms of the partners that I work with, so that I can get more partners on board with my community interested company that can offer me incentives and rewards for good behavior. My aspiration for this is to acquire a space that we can call home, where I can facilitate my training sessions from the home, where I can take young people to this safe environment, irrespective of where they're from or what environments they're in, and deliver in my safe space, and bring them around other like-minded individuals. With these organizations and partners that I want to partner with, I need brands and organizations to advertise this type of work and to say that this is actually the type of thing that we need, and then to support it, not considering all of the time their profit margins, but more so the effect and the impact that it can have on the minds of our upcoming generations, and say, yeah, I can in fact sponsor this. And if I'm an influencer or a music artist myself, I can in fact come to that base that we call home and deliver the training and give like a little motivational speech to these young people and talk about how they can remain consistent and how they can get there. And based from that little strategy there, I'm also building a database which all local organizations, businesses can actually interact with this database and just for free log what opportunities that you have. This way, when we interact with the young people through my training and uncover what it is that they want to do with themselves, we then have a database full of local businesses and organizations who can offer opportunities relevant. And then we've also got the influencers and the businesses to kind of reinforce to the young people that if you do this, we're in full support of it. I think that is the step-by-step process that I need to take. But that does start from just getting the space, I think, first and foremost.
Where on earth is your place of reset or recharge?
For those who may not have gathered already, I'm actually quite motivated to do a lot of the work that I'm doing on a religious and spiritual aspect. I believe everybody who's here has a divine purpose and a relevant skill set to match their purpose to execute it to a full potential. And the work that I feel like I've been sent here to do is by the Most High. So I feel my most at peace and at reset and charging up when I'm in a church. And that's not church necessarily as church service where everybody's there and we actually listen to the priest talking, but me by myself in an empty church where I can just go in whatever state that I'm in, however I'm feeling, with all the poisons that the world attaches to me. I can actually go there and be freed of them. I feel like I go there and cleanse. I feel like I go any negative, in the field of work, especially that I'm in politics. Sometimes it gets political. You have opinions on people's actions, how they do what they do, why they do what they do. And sometimes that can fall under lust, envy, jealousy, or hate. And I find myself going to the place of worship to kind of cleanse myself of that. I don't want to become people that I don't like or respect. So I cleanse myself of all of that. I recharge. I get to remember why I do what I do and kind of feel safe. That's my place of reset and recharge. And I feel like it grounds me and keeps me focused and not distracted on things that are worldly.
What wonder of the natural world excites you the most?
I'm interested in seeing if I can go to a place of nature like Africa where nature and wildlife is at its peak. I'm interested in seeing if I can develop bonds and relationships with animals in their natural habitats. Like I've seen videos of a lot of people with like in-depth relationships with tigers and lions where they can sleep with them and stuff like that. I want to see and meet these elephants. I want to see and meet these monkeys. I want to see and meet these birds. And I want to see what type of aura field I'm carrying and uncover if I'm able to develop, similarly to the videos that I've seen, a deep connection with the animals that God has put on this planet for us to actually be fascinated by.
Prospect, what is your story of hopefulness that's not your own? About a person, business or non-profit who are doing amazing things for the world?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about a recent one because we're moving forward with the times. 2023, new year, we're not gonna hold on to just old work. And I'm gonna bring up a young man called Kian, who I've been working with alongside the Rio Ferdinand Foundation. Big up Mr. Rio Ferdinand himself, investing into the futures of young men and women in the most deprived areas. And they send me to Angeltown, Brixton, and to Somerleyton, which is 2 areas in Brixton, by police identified as crime hotspots in quotation marks, where it all goes down pretty much. And it all goes down because of the reasons we was talking about earlier, lack of opportunity, right? And what the Rio Ferdinand Foundation is doing at the moment is trying to partner with organizations like Warner Music, Kiss FM, and try and get not only market the opportunities that we already have using these platforms, but also get big organizations like Warner to come to estates like that and facilitate sessions, like music sessions, for any young people that want to learn how to make a beat, make music. They can actually come to this session in their own community and learn from some of these big brands, which I think is a huge step towards healing our communities, right? Now, this young man that I've met whilst doing those sessions, Loughborough Estate we was on, and he actually is around that area, and he's 18 himself. And since meeting him, he just reminded me of like a young version of myself. And even though I'm still young myself at 22, seeing a young man who looks like me, is as eager to learn as I was and I still am, and is really already making the steps though, already started secluding himself from friendship groups that weren't beneficial to his life, already started to accept certain weaknesses in his traits and begin self-reflecting and working on them. Things in maturity that you don't really come across very often. And working with Kian to now seeing and uncovering, like through the goal setting training that I've done with him, I've uncovered he wants to have a podcast and have a platform. He wants to help other young people to kind of get to that level of maturity that he's at. And he doesn't really understand how some of his generation isn't at that level of maturity yet. And I'm talking to him saying, how can he grow to being an influence for his generation, because he will be even more effective in his generation than even I will be. So for me to first of all meet someone like that was empowering for me to understand why I'm doing my mission. What I'm doing is actually working and is effective. And it really reassured and it gave me energy to continue doing what I was doing and walking in my purpose. And for him to see and how he talks about how he appreciates this work and what he would be doing otherwise if this work wasn't available to him, and saying these opportunities aren't freely available, to the point where he actually didn't want to utilize our services because he thought it was too good to be true. He said, what's the catch? Like, what do I sell my soul to you guys after this? Is it done? I'm saying, no, bro, it's just, this is what the kids in Kensington have standard. You're just from Loughborough Junction, bro. This is why you don't know about these types of things. So make sure you're utilizing these opportunities and grow with them. And I literally just came off an email with him where he's going to be on board our next podcast, which will be done along Warner Music. And he's going to be on there talking about opportunities, what opportunities should be available to young people in his local area and what youth organizations could be doing better. So really turning young men and women from their communities to representing their communities and their people. And I think that way is how we can really build community champions who can refer to us what their better community looks like. And I think that way is how we're really going to heal communities properly. So he was a really great prime example to use, man. Big up Kian.
Finally, as we prepare to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, what insight, wisdom or question would you like to leave with us?
I would like to leave the listeners with this, yeah. The year just recently started. You've been refilled after a draining 2022 with energy currency, right? That utilizing your 2022 experiences, you should choose to spend that energy currency very wisely this year on the things and the people that support you and what you love. Climb your God-given ladder, then send it back down to lift people up in that order. Don't settle for anything less than an amazing 2023. And that is my final message to all the beautiful listeners of today's show. Thank you very much for your time today as well, brother, man. It's been a pleasure.
You can find out more about the work of Prospect at prospectnation.co.uk and on Instagram at prospectliving. What is your story of hopefulness that's not your own, about a person, business or non-profit who are doing amazing things for the world? We would love you to consider recording yourself in under 30 seconds, sharing your story on your phone through your video or the voice memo or recorder app. You can then simply upload the recording to the link on our website, ourwonder.space, and we will look to include them in future episodes. I want to thank Prospect for joining us on Wonderspace. Let's continue to share our stories of hopefulness that makes a name for someone else. We need them like never before. Thanks for listening.